What's up, y'all? It's your girl Dajulyn, and I'm here with DJ Astonish on a come up, the station of the next generation, baby.
Don't drag it out, make it more than what it seems. We can turn this into a simple thing. Said I need that. Said I need that.
Hey, we meet again.
Yes, we do. We meet again.
Woo, woo, woo. R&B sensation, superstar in the making here. Woo. International vibes for sure. All my days. You know, it's great to officially connect with you.
It's good to connect with you too. I'm so excited. I definitely want to have some fans overseas. We want to go international, baby.
You want to go international? Jeez, well, with your music, I'll tell you something. I mean, honestly. So let's get this straight down. Okay, I'm going to just make sure they don't mess up like none of the coalition DJs did in the Zoom call. So it's Dajulyn, yeah?
Dajulyn, yes.
Okay, I got it right. Okay, the accident messed it up, so we got it good. So good to connect with you. You know what? I gotta say, it's artists like yourselves, who just, it's so funny when we first met. Well, we're not in person, but you know what I mean. When we first met and I heard your music, I was just like, and you was telling me about your influences. And I hear it all the time and time again. People talk, oh yeah, I'm Brandy. Now Brandy's one of my top 10.
I love Brandy.
It's one of my top 10 like female artists, baby. Like, and you know what? I was just like, do you know what? It's like these are big shouts, but and then you're saying Summer Walker. But no word of lie did I ever expect to hear what I've experienced. And since I've obviously heard your Zoom calls, I've been on your on your YouTube channel. I've been checking out your videos, and man, you are a vibe. Like you are bringing R&B back. Like it's crazy. And I've looked at the progression of your music. Well, what's really fascinating is how you really, how can I put it, just really dominate your genres with from the Afro swing to the pop / R&B. Like I said to you on the Coalition Zoom call, that you make music how I like my food with seasoning. It's just got flavor in. So let's get down to it. Where are you actually from? Where are you originally from?
So I was slightly raised, up until I was 9 years old in a small city called Orangeburg, South Carolina. And then I made my way to another small city outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, which is called Lake Wiley, Clover, South Carolina area. So once you go over the bridge, you're in Charlotte. That's how close we are in Charlotte. But now currently I stay in Charlotte, North Carolina. So how I identify how I was born and raised, I would call it the Carolinas.
Okay, so what's life like there? I've not been there. So what's life like?
Life is just full of seasoning, as you would say.
Okay.
All right. Life is full of seasoning. Growing up as a country girl, I was able to hear, that soulful music. Actually up until I was 9 years old, I didn't really get to hear the hip, as you would call it, as you would say, around that time, because I grew up with old school music. I grew up with that playing in the kitchen, on the ride to, school. My mom would put on gospel or R&B soul music. We would be on the way to school listening to Marvin Gaye or Brandy, Deborah Cox. And we'll be listening to sometimes Yolanda Adams, Mary.
God, you're naming them all. You're naming them all.
Kiki Wyatt, even down to Usher. I love Usher music. I wouldn't consider him old school. No. I would call him old new school, and that makes sense. But old school, I will say, let's see, well, it's around the same era. Music, Soul Child, like hearing that R&B element. It's just we would listen to that on the way home, and it's just I was deeply influenced by it because I didn't really know the hip around that time. What was hip until after 9 years old? So.
You know what? When I meet people in the industry that are like trying to make it in the game, the new or the fresh in the game, and they talk about like the influences and stuff. And a lot of people, I hear a lot of people say these big names in it, and it's like, and then I hear their music, and I'm just like, but it just still sounds, how can I put it, microwave, very today's sound. But when I actually hear your music, it's like you can tell you're somebody who is actually passionate. And it's not just that, it's from the visuals to the production to the creative side, like an actual artist. Do you know what I mean? The whole, you know, choreography. I've seen you live performances, like, you know, just energy, you know, and we miss that. I miss, particularly nowadays, is that seeing artists that can handle a stage on them by themselves. And I
Yes.
can see you can handle the stage by yourself. You know, a lot of artists, you know, they need loads of backing dancers and singers and all that and effects to jazz up. You can actually just do a stage and sing. You can do the Whitney Houstons, the Mary J. Bliges, you know, just the, you know, the energy on stage. And you know, that's a gift in itself. So when did it come to the point that where you decided, you realized you had a voice?
Wow, I started singing in a church when I was 3 years old. It
So that's
wasn't
the soul's
until
from, baby.
it wasn't until I was kind of forced to sing a
Okay.
solo. I was in the Sunbeam Choir at Williams Chapel in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and all the kids around that age, which is 3, 4, 5, the youth Sunday, they would highlight a vocalist, and so it was my Sunday. And when I sung, I actually have a clip of that, and I was like, "Oh man, I was so off key," but I was so confident, and I was believing in what I was singing, and people were believing in what I was singing, and I love the way how it touched people. I'm all for how music makes people feel. It wasn't until that point that I knew I had something like a spark, and so from that point on, it led me to actually begging my parents, "Hey, I want to go in a recording studio, professional recording studio," and then it led me to my cousin Sean collaborating on my first single called "Get Up," which is not on all digital platforms because at the time we didn't have the Apple Music that was
No.
big, what we know today. So I was selling CDs out of our cars into local churches because it was inspirational gospel music and inspirational / gospel music / Disney inspired around that time. And we didn't have the connections, but that's what really led up to my inspiration. Like, I don't know what drove into me, but it was that passion and that desire. Because I'm like, I was in the studio at 9 years old.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
What separates you to point be in a position to say that, you know, to realize that you actually got something that is unique than the rest? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's in your lane. Like, to realize that, you know, I'm an artist and, you know, I can do this. So, you know, I've got so much to show and share with the world. Where did that transformation come from?
Woo! I think what really ignited in me was one New Year's, and I would never forget it. It was my cousin. She sat down with us as young kids, and she was like, "What is your purpose?" And it gives me chills to this day because once you identify your purpose, you're able to know what your passion is. And I knew that my purpose was to touch people through music, and my passion was music. So I was out singing one day, and this lady came up to me, 11 years old, crying, saying how I touched her. And then from that point on, I knew that it was something serious. So identifying your passion is key.
And here we are. So how much music have you got but that we don't know about?
Oh my gosh. It's crazy because I need to sit down and count it. But if I was to estimate it, I would say, like, I'm very particular. I'm very hard on myself. So there's a few unfinished songs, you know, there. But there's also full songs. So I would say like up to 40 that I feel that I've completed.
And what I have to say from what I hear from your music is that you're actually producing quality music.
Yeah.
You know, I see here's some artists that put out music and it's like, you just think, you know, what made you put out this? Like, I hear from Dirty Diana, yeah, you know, to right up to Company, and it's like the difference of identity, but still the same artist. The quality in the production, the growth in the production, just like everything that comes as a package as an artist. Do you know what I mean? It's like it goes hand in hand. And you know, some artists, it's like, you know, they explore, they're exploring, but they're showing the world they're exploring, and you can hear like this, they've not found themselves yet. But when I listen to you, I hear you actually kind of know what you're trying to do. You know what you want. You know what music you want to make, what stories you want to tell. And particularly when you spoke to us on you know, when obviously we met on the Coalition DJs Tennessee, Zoom Virtual New Music Sunday, and you said about you explain the depth of each track that you've put out and how important it is. So as an artist for you who's making, you know, soul / R&B, just the good stuff, you know, the gospel, the lot, how important is the music has to reflect on you as an artist?
It's very important because I feel, generally speaking, as an artist, you want your audience to connect with you.
Mm,
Once you identify your audience, then you're able to. It took me a minute to identify what I
mm,
wanted. So once I identified my audience, I knew these were the topics that I need to start talking about. Because women, basically my audience is it's basically women and men too. But the
mm,
topics that I do discuss is about how lately has been about how men play these roles
mm-hmm,
in situationships or relationships. So my
mm,
audience is for women,
mm.
I'm saying, that can relate to those certain
Yeah.
topics. But I feel like Company is a sidebar. Company is a record that anybody can relate to because
Mm-hmm.
who hasn't
Company's a
who
jam.
hasn't been in a situationship
Mm,
or like
mm,
a sneaky link situation that was
mhm,
fun, and then you're going through this roller coaster of emotions where you want that person's company, but you know what it is, you
mm.
know?
Yeah, definitely. What do you think's missing? What do you find as an artist actually that's missing as an artist who's creative, who has, an understanding about putting out art, and what do you feel is missing in R&B culture today, in soul/R&B?
I don't know. I do know, but I don't know because I feel like R&B is making a major comeback. I mean, there's a
I
lot
agree.
of
I do
amazing
agree. Yeah.
like Lucky Day. I come across even some dope artists overseas or some
Mm,
artists that are independent, but they're on the grind and on the rise.
mm,
And even those that are out, they are talking about topics, and they're also bringing back that real feel to music.
mm.
And I can't really say what's missing because I'm rooting for the ones that are underground. I'm
Yeah.
rooting for the ones that have the unreleased music that
Mm,
I hear in the studio, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait till you drop that. Like,
yeah.
I'm rooting for that, and I just feel like R&B is on a great path,
Mm,
and I love that we're bringing back love into music
mm.
because
So it's fair.
yeah,
It's fair to say you're going to be on that next generation of bringing R&B back.
yes, I'm here for it.
You're here for it. You're here for the new school of the blueprint of R&B, of it coming back to its original roots. R&B's coming home. R&B's coming home. It should be a tour. R&B's coming home. But no, honestly, like I say, your music is it gave me chills, and it gives me chills, and I've had you on repeat since. I'm just like, wow. I was like, I showed my mom, saying, you need to check this girl out. And yeah, it's speechless music. So talking about independency, because I know you're an independent artist,
Mhm.
and being creative with yourself, where does the balance come to you being having full artistry control if a record deal was to approach you? Like, are you open to options of signing a deal?
I'm definitely open to options of signing or open to options of still being independent but having a distribution deal,
Hmm. Yeah.
because that independency is like no other. You have artists that are actually going through some things right now. Like,
Mm,
I was just recently reading up on like SZA,
mm,
um, Normani, and how some of their records are being held on hold because they're pushing a particular artist
yeah.
within that record
Label. Yeah.
company. And so you don't want to get stuck in a situation like
Mm,
that where your
mm.
art is on pause.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be like a Russ. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Russ, but
Oh,
he's
I'm familiar with Ross. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Russ is independent, and I
Mm,
think he recently spoke on that. But he's independently lit, as I would
mm,
say,
mm,
and he's doing running his own tours, and he's still doing what he loves, but he's
mm,
not being held on pause. And recently, K Camp, he released his latest album
mm,
with his record label, so he can get out of his deal.
mm.
So that's happening around us.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of factors. People want to get so um, head over heels for the big names that are on those record
Mm,
labels, but you got to understand where do you fit on that priority list. So you have to ask yourself that question and how you want to maneuver and
mm.
it makes sense for you and your brand.
It's funny. I actually spoke to K Camp just last year, and we touched down on this subject about getting out and being free. And he spoke about how he used the record company to do what it needed it to do.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
And now it's about, you know, doing what he needs to do. And I think this is the thing is when people sign record deals is having that understanding of what are your intentions, what are your, you know, objectives to what are you trying to achieve, rather than being derailed and then being lost, like you just jumped in a car with no coordinates and you don't know what destination you've reached. And I think that's the key thing in it is knowing, you know, again, it's down to the purpose, isn't it? What is it you're trying to get to? You know, what's the destination? And if you're taking these opportunities that come your way, then how are you going to use them to your benefit rather than vice versa? So I think that's really important. And you know, with a voice like yours, Jesus, I mean, I said to you last time when you spoke, you know, as you know, just making music like that now with you know, just with the push of something or a distribution where it would go. You've got, so what's going off now with your music? Because I'm confused, because obviously I'm new to your music, right? And it's like, I mean, no far, I think, I mean, I could say Company's my favorite track, but then I'd be lying because they're all so individually different.
Yes.
Great music visuals, great different types of vibes, different types of tempos. So like, what is like, what's the single that you're really pushing right now? Like, what is the
My
what you
push,
want to see?
I would say, I always go by the slogan, what may be old to me is definitely new to y'all.
Yeah.
I would say I'm never gonna stop pushing a single that's like 3 years old. Dirty
Okay.
Diana is still gonna get pushed. Basically every song is still gonna get pushed. But because Company is out right now, I definitely want to push that
Mm-hmm.
and um and just continue to do it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? But Playfair definitely has the strongest push thus far with it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Company is the follow up. So I would say all the records that I feel like, which are great, strong records, is Dirty Diana, Company, and Playfair.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just pushing all of them. Like LMA Effect, she had to
Oh,
put it out
yo,
till
yo,
Boot
she
Up
was working.
came
She
out.
was she was working.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking about work, like what happens behind the scenes then that we don't see? Because this is the thing. I think, you know, people see this. You know, you watch. I mean, we watch these music videos of yours. A lot of work goes into it. You know, 3 minutes is something we watch, and you know, I've been on music video shoots, and I've seen how long these videos are and can take. And particularly yours with choreography, you know, a combination in band, which I can't even imagine, is just a different level. So you know, there's a lot of work that's going in. So you know, when it comes to, like, let's just go to Company for example. I mean, that music video is just like, I mean, what we got, you know, whoa, it's a full motion picture. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, how does the whole preparation and management of all that come? Are you hands on with it all? Have you got the assistants? Because I know you work with a particular camera guy usually.
Yes. Shout out to Timmy Shawley. But I do have a team of people that I've met over the years and I've gotten real close with as far as working with them. So Timmy actually collaborated with Cosmic on Playfair. Cosmic, shout out to you. He moved to LA. He's working with the Real Goats
Mm.
that do the videos for the baby. So I haven't had the opportunity for him to be on Company, but Timmy, you know, he held that spot down and he actually, you know, brought the vision to life. And Sam, I want to shout out Sam, goes by Mr. SOC. He wears a lot of hats when it comes to my team. He's a stylist.
Mm-hmm.
He styles me for my shows. He's definitely on the rise. He knows a lot of people, but one thing that he definitely got his hands on with this particular music video was the direction of the music video.
Okay.
So he presented me with the storyline, and I was like, "Oh, I definitely agree with
Wow.
that." So I've had several meetings with my team before we pulled off this production and what we
So
were all on accord when it came to each scene and how we wanted it, locations and everything. Dancers, shout out to Carlos Dwayne. He helped me put the dances together and he choreographed, you know, the number that you see in the music video. Hella dope, super talented. But yes, it definitely does not just take me. It takes a team effort, and everybody wears different hats when it comes to bringing something to life.
So you might be independent, but it's fair to say, you know, you're not winning the amateur business here. You're like, you meet some people and it's just done. So I mean, you know, I meet people and they want to be taken serious, but like the level of what they, you know, they don't even know what they're doing. They don't know. So how did you even come to a point to be where you're at to just know this? Like, where did the experience come from to like just know the instruction, you know, the structure of getting it right, of no, you know, because you know this is that, you know, you got structure to it. Some people just freestyle it. Oh, we're going to just see where the music video goes and freestyle it and then make it. But you know, the fact is, you know, you got someone coming with a script. You know, this is like Hollywood. This is like yeah. So this is no joke. This is no joke. So like, I mean, you got serious people. You got serious people.
Well, to answer your question, over the years, I got feedback from different
Okay.
people. And that's why if people don't get discouraged when you get feedback, actually internalize it and see how you can like build off of it. Because Dirty Diana, that was a learning lesson. Okay, we need more wardrobe changes. Someone said there needs to be you need to have a look as an artist. Okay, let's go ahead and check that off. Let's see if we can have someone come in, because sometimes we feel like we can do everything. Like, oh, let me go ahead and style myself, which you can once you find out what your style is. Once you know what your style is, then some things you can do on your own, but then some things you may need help with. And then you're going to find those people that are passionate as much as you are and believe in you as much as you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And they're going to help you, you know, and not, of course, they're on the rise as well. So they want to say, okay, well, since this person's on the rise and I'm on the rise too, let's do this thing together, and it won't be so expensive. But you see that they're going to come up as well. So that's how you really do it for real when it comes to that.
With the music and the releases, then are you going to continue just doing like the whole single element? You know, because some people, they end up putting. I try and speak to a lot of artists about this conversation because, you know, particularly yourself, right? I mean, you're making, like I said, you're making timeless music. So for you to put a project out, that's going to be some serious business, because there's no doubt that's going to be something that's real personal to you, and that's going to be a story. But some people put a project out because they just can't wait to get an album or a mixtape or an EP. And then what tends to happen is it gets overlooked because, you know, they haven't built the solid fan base that they want yet. And you know, that's so. Are you looking to release an EP? Are you going to be continue on the whole single journey at this present moment?
Oh man, I'm definitely looking into dropping an EP, but like you said, the overlooked effect. You definitely want to. People like, I would name an example, Chris Brown. There's been times where he released 20 songs.
Yeah.
People don't go through all 20 of those songs, or they just pick and choose what they like. So here you are releasing all your music, and then some of those tracks are just being swept under the rug. You know, I mean, I guess it's a win-win, because the more music you put out, the more chances, you know, people will be able to say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I like. So that's a good thing, especially if you are Chris Brown. But me,
Chris Brown,
because I'm Dajulyn, and I'm trying to be on the rise and X, Y, and Z. I would say the single effect is actually working in my favor. I would rather continue dropping singles leading up to my project, to continue that buzz, because I think it'll just make more sense in my situation.
Yeah, and I think artists who just want to have a package, they might just bang out a load of singles and just release a collaboration afterwards, you know, if they want it all together. Do you know what I mean? But I agree. You know, Chris, you know, I had this conversation with an artist out here called Ironic. You know, he was talking, he had like a big hit back many years ago in the UK. You won't know him in the States, but he was doing like talking about where he's at in his career now. And he was saying that, he might bring back an album, but obviously he was from the era of where CDs sold. We live in the streaming world now. So like you say, you know, you can go on iTunes and you pick what track you want. You go on Spotify, you pick what track you want. And that's what it is now. People pick and choose. You know, when back in the day, you spending, $10 on a CD or whatever, you're going to listen to that, check that whole project out because you pay for it, right? But like now it's like, I think as well with the, you know, everything's at the click of the button. People's people's attention span's shorter. You know, there's so much content out there now. How do you keep up? Because like you said with Chris Brown, I like Chris Brown, but like he's dropped so much music, and particularly with his last 3 projects, I shall say, the amount of tracks on them, as a DJ, like, I mean, I've just listened to his album Breezy, and you know, I mean, like I say, I can't sit there. I get that. I'm a DJ. I get so much music sent. I can't, and I'll know if a track. I mean, I know if a track's popping in 15 seconds, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I'm going through this Breezy album, and I'm just seeing which one's got this, which one's, and I'm overlooking. And then the other day I went through, I thought, okay, I'm sick and tired of hearing those Chris Brown tunes now. Let me just go over the album again. So I went over the album again and I heard, oh, I didn't recognize that tune before. So there was tunes I overlooked on the project. So it is, I mean, obviously he can afford it, but to race that. But when you're young and you know, you're independent and you're really trying to develop yourself as an artist, it's important to really showcase your work and your artistry. So I think that's really big. Another thing that really obviously interested me when we first met, you know, you spoke about, you know, your inspirations, who you'd like to do a feature with, which obviously loads. And, you know, which one really got me when you said Anthony Hamilton. And, you know, I'm not going to be hard, but I would love to have laughed. But, you know, I mean, you're the reason why I was actually on the Zoom call, because I heard your track it's a preview and I thought, God, this sounds good. So I didn't have high expectations and you lived up to him. But when you said Anthony Hamilton, I was like, oh my days, because that's an artist that we don't hear much of people talk about. And when you say an artist like Anthony Hamilton, so, you know, this is how I knew that he was really serious, like, you know, in terms of music, like in terms of depth, actual soul, because that's real soulful sound. And obviously where you come from, obviously that explains it all as well, man, with the music. I mean, I've been to some of these shallow ends in America, like, and I know how raw state of music can be in some of these states, which is fascinating, which is why I love America so much, because it's just like music's just, you know, just in some of these towns are just so raw. But so we've got Company, obviously, like you say, pushing Company right now, a potential EP in the line in obviously coming up. But where are you at now? What's currently happening in terms of you as an artist? Are you doing any shows at the minute?
Yes, I'm doing shows. I actually recently did 2 shows this weekend. Power 98 FM, which is a big radio station.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Yes, in Charlotte, North Carolina. I did the Power 98 FM block party. So y'all can stay in tune. I'm posting a reel on my page today.
Sweet.
Next day I did cultural festival, which was yesterday in Atlanta. So I just got back from Atlanta today. So I'm just been on the move.
Yeah.
You know, putting myself in different opportunities to meet people that can take me to the next level, and just also networking and making those connections, because you never know, there could be another artist that's, you know, doping on the same, you know, on the right path, and we can collaborate and do some independent shows together. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm especially freshly coming off my first headlining show that I did for myself in the Carolinas. I'm proud to say I did that. And it was a great turnout, like a really good turnout. So it was an intimate setting, but it was definitely a big turnout, especially as an independent artist and getting everybody out. That was definitely a moment in my career so far that I'm proud of. But yeah, I'm just continuing to do shows, continuing to be a part of New Music Mondays and New Music Sundays, and getting my artistry out to the DJs, making that connection, breaking that barrier as an artist, making genuine connections is what it is about. Because people can have followers. Some people may have bought followers, but I'm in the business to make genuine connections with people. So.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's the genuine connections that you have. Because I always say to people, it doesn't matter how many people you got, it's who's watching you, you know? And this is the thing where people overlook, is that, you know, it's like, oh, you know, how many, you know, this thing of how many likes did you get? How many followers did you get? How many is this? Like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. You know, you can go to a show and it could be 2,000 people in a room. You can go to a show with 300 people in the room. Yes. And you can walk away with more in hand at that, where you went to that 300 place than you did in the 2000. So it's really of, you know, the people you're connecting with and what you're doing. And, you know, I can come to my next question about, you know, talking about collaborations and that. Have you done any collaborations in the archive? Have you got anything like typed up? And second question will be, you know, what does it take for you to collaborate with someone with such, you know, obviously with the music you're making, you know, you're obviously going to have to feel what they're doing. Yeah.
I'm in the business of longevity.
Mm,
Of course, we talked about timeless music, so it has to. It's about alignment for me. I do get people that knock on my door and ask me to do features, and I'm like, okay, it's a review process, because like you said, there's artists that are in it for the short run, and there's
mm,
artists that may not. They may have microwavable music that's
mhm.
not necessarily seasoned
Yeah.
to the like quality
Mm,
what
yeah.
I'm going for. And then there's some people that you see the potential in them. They just want to collaborate and go up to the next level too as
Mm,
well. So you just have to like, me, I'm very picky and I'm very choosy. And I
mhm,
will say so far I've collaborated with Josh Waters. He's out in Atlanta. We actually did a show last year together. Such a talented artist.
mhm.
And he's on that wave where it's not just R&B, it's contemporary music too as well,
Okay.
which I love because you can cross over and make
Mm,
R&B fit in with, making
yeah.
those film placements and those like, it's
Mhm,
another way to bringing your music out there as well. So I'm all for collaborating with people that are on the wave of timeless music,
mm,
and that's what I'm here for. And back to Anthony Hamilton, for somebody that he has released a project recently, but because he has released projects before then, he's still on tour, and that's what you got to think of as an artist. Will you still be touring,
mm.
even if you don't drop a hot album
Yes.
or the big next big thing, you still find yourself touring and selling out shows
Mm,
because you can be hot now and not hot later. So
that's
what
it.
what type of artist do you identify yourself with?
Mm.
You know.
So you'd like to be one of them who's coming back singing the classics years down the line. It's my favorite song. No, for sure, for sure. Well, you know what, Dajulyn, like, I mean, like I say, when I hear your music, it's like, it's not just, I mean, it's universal sound. I mean, it's real music. Like, I mean, I'm out here in the UK, and it's the sound that we love out here that's missing. We only have a certain selection. I mean, we've got the big people. Got big artists, obviously, like Summer Walker, who obviously everybody knows, and we play on the radio, but it's still a market that's lacking unless you're really underground. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just so refreshing to hear. I mean, I was just like, yo, this girl's giving, when I heard it, I said to my mom, like, this girl's giving Summer Walker a run for her money. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, she's got the whole, the dancing, the lot, man, but no, seriously. So it's definitely true what you're saying. Is I think that is a rarity, is to actually be selling out shows. And I mean, I've seen it myself with artists that were once big in my era, and it's just like, where did they go? So you definitely want to reach that point in your career. What I have to say is you seem very like and I don't know if it's a church background or what, but very like just grounded with the whole process of your journey. Like, you actually taking in time with your craft. Some people, they wish their craft, they just want to get to the end goal. What do you think keeps you on this path of just, the involvement of taking the journey as it comes?
You know what? I used to be that person that actually was like, I gotta
Mm,
do this. I gotta do
yeah.
this. Especially when I first started out, at a young age, I was seeing Disney stars pop out the woodworks.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this person. And then I actually placed pressure on myself as a kid. Like,
Mm,
okay, well, I have a hot song. It needs to be on Disney tomorrow. Like, I was one
yeah.
of those people.
Okay.
And I had to learn that, hey, if you really want this thing, it's gonna have to come with hard work. I
Mm,
I don't know when I came to that point in my life, but I had to make that decision. Okay, what type of artist, like I said, that I want to identify with. And when you want to make seasoned music and seasoned craft, you have to make sure you take your time with it. Because when you take your time with it and you actually make a visualization as such as company and Playfair, you bring in real genuine day ones, as I would call it, into the mix of your journey. And
mhm,
so by you having genuine fans and they seeing how you have a course of how you're building your craft, that makes them feel like they're a part of the process. Like me, I'm anticipated. I'm waiting on SZA's album because I know she's not gonna drop nothing that she didn't take her time with. So it's about building that anticipation and just taking your time because honestly, I'm an independent artist, so I would say the good part about being independent is that you're having full control.
Yeah.
So you're not in no rush. No, you don't have the record label putting that pressure on you. You're putting that pressure on yourself. So
Mhm.
once you understand that, you're able to like release that pressure and just take your time.
Absolutely, yeah, because it's so true. You know, when you actually get signed to these labels, like, geez, it's a different ball game. It's like, you know, unless you really got like a serious contract where, you know, like you say, you got a distribution deal or something like that, then, you know, hats off. But like when you actually sign and these people are saying, you know, we want you to release this single and you don't want that single, then it's, you know, it's heads banging against the wall. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think it, you know, it's important to take the journey like that, you know, and it does come with time. Would you say you're happy with the progression that you're making now?
I would say I'm blessed with this journey.
Mhm.
I do have challenges, you know what I'm saying? I be having my breakdowns because
Yeah.
music it's a lot
Mm.
on this grind because you feel like you're putting in a lot and you're not getting what you're putting in sometimes.
Yeah.
So I do wanna say that that's something that I'm dealing with. It's a challenge, but I know that this work will be worth it.
Yeah.
So I want anybody that's listening to this, yes, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm blessed to say I'm getting those opportunities that I was hoping to be on. I would see flyers that didn't have my face on it now have my face on it.
Yeah.
So I can say that I'm blessed to be happy. Like I'm happy to be in those positions now that I was complaining about maybe years
Yes.
ago.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
time. So just understand you are your biggest um what's the word? The term is like you decide what you want out of this.
Hmm.
You speak positive things. You call those positive things to you. There's been things I spoke on my life that I'm like, dang, this happened literally in the next month.
Yeah.
So you decide what you want out of this.
Hmm. That's great. You know, Dajulyn, it's, you know, it's just been so great, like just chapping in and getting this like understanding about you. Obviously, what are you familiar with? Obviously, but this is UK interview. I'm presuming it's your first UK interview, right? And no one on. Whoop, whoop. Tell me, what are you so familiar with any UK music at all? Out of curiosity, like any UK artists?
Man, I will say this. I watched this segment called Colors, and they
Yes.
highlight a lot of UK artists.
Mm,
I would say one that came out of the UK that I love, of course, LMA.
mm.
I like she's saying Bang Bang. I know
Oh
you
yeah,
like
oh, God, which one? I hate that song.
that. But I actually like her voice. I love her voice. She can sing now, I ain't gonna lie. Um, there's some other artists that I did come across, but I'm not gonna lie. I like you said, I come across so much music that I
Yeah.
that I be forgetting certain people's names right then on the spot because much of
Mhm.
the artists are on the rise or they actually like are really doing it big. So I'm gonna tap back into that and hear some more artists and I'll let you know.
See what the UK scene's saying. Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, there's no doubt. You know, well, this is yeah. Well, congratulations to you. You know, welcome to the UK. Anyway, you know, first UK. Woo. You know, you're making. I mean, you're making moves. And I say this to artists. You know, I say it all the time. Like, you know, people that put the pressure on themselves. You know, they want the more. They want. You know, I need this, and I need that. And it's like I say. You know, when you get, when you know you get an interest with people who actually want to get involved with your music, then you got something. So
Yeah.
what else do you what more validation do you need than that? You know, people sometimes, you know, oh, I'm a, you know, because I know in the industry it's pressurized, and sometimes you think, oh, am I doing the right thing, or do I need to switch it up? Do I need to do that? We have these critiques and that, but you know, it's like I say, I mean, you're doing a UK interview. You already know you're international. You might not be commercially successful yet, but like, you know, there's clearly a market. And it's these little things that I say to people that you have to look at, these little things that people that want to do with you. Like when I came back from America, I had so many people that wanted to work with me.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my head was like bazzled because I had all this and I didn't know, you know, what do I do and what do I do? What do I take and what do I don't take? Because there were opportunities. But it's
Mhm.
like one of my close allies said to me, you don't have to take the opportunities. If it doesn't align with your vision, that's, you know, and that's what I had to ask myself. And they didn't align with their visions. So I said no to these opportunities. Some people thought I was crazy and some people said, hats off to you. But what I realized is that, you know, is that these were big people that wanted to work with me. And I said no. And some people said I'm stupid, but you know what I actually realized? I said no, because I know my worth. I know that, you know, I've got a market. I've got, you know what, I'm professional in what I do. So, you know, whatever I'm going to achieve for myself, as long as I stay on my road and my journey and take let nature take its course, I'm going to get there. So I think that's always the biggest thing to always try and remind ourselves is just allow ourselves to go through our process.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. I was actually thinking about that the other day because I got wrapped up into, I was one of the ones that would rush myself. I was one of the ones that would look at other people's success and comparing it to mine.
Yeah.
You go down your journey the way you're supposed to go down your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the vision has to align. And what are you standing for?
Mm-hmm.
Once you identify your purpose and what you're standing for, then there's no way that you're not going to make it and you're not going to be successful. You have to already have that like instilled inside of you, because I have a lot of ideas. Oh my gosh, I have so many ideas because with the acting in the video, I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. And people didn't know that I did, acting and all that stuff. So it's different ways that you could spin it and everything like that. But back to what you were saying, like, I'm not getting wrapped up into what everybody else is doing. I'm just going to stay clear into what I'm doing, because many people say, oh, you need to do a rap track or you need to do a club banger.
Oh gosh.
And it's like, maybe this is not my audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would just go to where I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm stepping into those R&B Wednesdays. That's why I'm doing what I need to do to fit into where I'm trying to go.
Absolutely.
That isn't aligning with what I'm going for. If I did a club banger, it would be an R&B club banger.
Yeah.
Not like it would have to make sense, for me personally.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree. As an artist, my advice for anybody out there is to stay true to who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people, I was having a conversation with someone today and I was saying that people fail to honor their nature. And a part of it why they fail is because of the society that we're growing up to live in. We go to school, we go to college, we have to focus on the next thing all the time. So we don't focus on ourselves. And then in the end, that's why we end up getting our burnouts, our nervous breakdowns in the process, where we lose ourselves and we have to, readjust and realign ourselves again to get back on track. And it's always that important, is as long as take the moment and look at each, what you're doing it for, your purpose and what benefit it has to you, you're going to be all right. It's just when, like I say, you go in the car and there's no coordinates, man, that's when all hell breaks loose, man. You're looking for a complete wreckage. So definitely honor yourself is always the first and foremost, I say to anyone. And that's what, I've been DJing for over 10 years, like professionally. I'm it's probably 10 years to get to this point, but that's through experience, and now it's like I'm one of them people, I don't kill myself for nobody, like, and I say it to everyone I meet, in this game, it's like, you stay in your lane. That's all you need to do, stay in your lane, because you're your own unique person every time. That's what I say, there's never going to be another you, so make the most of it. So, Dajulyn, it's been absolutely great, some people before I interview, because I'm at a point now, I don't really like, I've done so many interviews with people and it's like, it's like, I have to want to speak to people now. And I actually wanted to speak to you, but then there's always the gamble of, especially when you don't know much about the artist, what my question is usually at the back of my head is like, oh gosh, what happened if is this person boring? I mean, like dry, but actually you got a nice personality. I've actually enjoyed talking to you. Like I feel like we connect on a vibe, which is great. And it's been great listening to you. And I'm definitely going to support you. Like, I'm already like getting you active out here. I'm back on the radio spinning this week. So we've got you. I'm having you in rotation, no doubt. Can't wait to play it. It's like play how much companies in there, but no doubt I'm going to spin another record. But no, I'm going to be supporting you. But what I was going to say before we detach, send me anything you've got, like press package or anything like that, because I can forward it out to other DJs out here. Introduce it to them and see how they're vibing with it, and we'll get you pushing on that get that sound, because we're like I say, man, the scene's ready for you. Like, there's a slot just for you out there. There's no one, I've not heard anyone making R&B like you, period. It's just one of them. You're just like back in the day. What we lack today, this is what I always say to people, what we lack today is authenticity in the game. You know, because we've got a lot of, you know, a lot of people doing R&B, but some people doing the auto tune in R&B. You know, it's like they actually can't sing. We actually, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you go back to the days of Nat King Cole where everybody had to sing. Like, you know, if you jumped on a record, there was going to be no editing. That record was going to have to be sung how you sing it. So it's like, you know, it's refreshing when you can hear an artist that actually can sing. And you know, you can sing. You can sing, girl.
Thank you so much. And I do want to stress that, last but not least, I did do I would say a cover song, but it became a record. And I had to tell myself from that record, which is called Kissing You, could check it out right now.
I have checked that out, yeah.
And I had to get to the point where it's like, okay, I have to stray away from. I think artists get comfortable with doing remakes and remixes sometimes, and then it becomes kind of like gimmicky in a way. So I was like, I want to still bring that feeling, maybe get that kick from this song, that element, not necessarily take anybody's song. I want to put that out there, but get that same element of the people that I'm inspired by, and make it uniquely my own. So I do want to stress that to those that may have the inspiration to do it, but don't take the easy way out and say, I'm going to do a flip of The Boy Is Mine and then change it into something else. Now, granted, I did do that and we did get recognition from it. It's on my YouTube channel, but it wasn't a record that I released personally on my own. But I see a lot of artists doing that, taking old records and flipping it. And you don't want it to become a lazy thing. You want it to become something that you can make the feeling stay the same, but make it your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's missing. I think a lot of that's going on right now.
I agree. Do you know what I said to myself the other day? I was like, I'm hearing way too many remixes. And half these remixes I'm hearing, these are like from artists that I actually love. You know, I heard someone play a record and it was a had a Patti LaBelle sample in it. And I'm a massive Patti LaBelle fan. And I was just like, no, it's just like, and sorry, because to me, I'm loyal to that artist. So, you know, unless you making it, it was a crap record and you making it better than the original. For me, don't touch it. Like, just sometimes it works, but it's when people really want to captivate it and really just like, you're just known for being a cover artist. I mean, covers are nice, and I think they're great for live performances and stuff like that. But when it's releasing them as like the lead single, and claiming it's theirs, and I'm just thinking, I mean, sometimes it works and it's good to you, but yeah, it's just nice when you do hear, and Dajulyn, you're making it your own. So I salute you, girl. Thank you. We're gonna stay tapped in. You got like I say, you got me. I'm gonna drop you my number at the in WhatsApp, and you can just not WhatsApp, in Instagram. You can just WhatsApp me directly, and it's just easier. So if there's anything you ever need to question or whatever, send over. But yeah, we're gonna stay tapped in, girl. I'm rooting for you. I'm back in the States in January, so we never know. We might cross ponds. I don't know, but yeah, I'll let you know. I'm back here. It should be in January time. I should be back. We're gonna tap in again soon, girl.
Definitely, I'm super excited. I'm glad I made that connection with you.
100.
That's why I say, artists, you always want to hop on those DJs Zoom calls or any opportunity, because you never know who you may come across that can, have the same passion that you have towards your music, and make those connections is very key. And I'm just so happy, and book me out in the UK. I'm ready. I got my
it's coming. It's coming. Dajulyn, you take it easy, yeah?
Thank you so much on the come up.
No, I'll speak to you soon, girl.
Said I need